Hello, everyone. I hope you all are able to hear me, and I hope that you all are doing awesome. Uh, so it's been a little while that I've been online, but I just wanted to come live today and talk to you all and catch up a little bit because I have been really, really missing you. All right, I hope you have missed me, by the way. So, as you see, I have my special armor. Uh, I had a shoulder dislocation, right shoulder dislocation, um, which kept me away from social media for some time. But nevertheless, I'm back. Trying to. I'm glad that I'm able to do my work and my painting because otherwise I would have gone insane. Um, okay, so um, today's talk, I wanted to talk to you about something that I've been thinking about since the morning, right? And it's something that I thought I must come and share with you all as artists. So today's talk is specifically um, for no, it's not really about only about artists, but yes, as an artist, it really makes a lot of difference for us um, to think about this, as I'm going to say. So I want to talk to you about something that we as artists often shy away from, right? But actually, it's incredibly important for our growth, especially as artists. Um, and that is the state of being confused. Confusing? Well, let me clarify. Let me come here and okay. So we are going to be talking about decisions versus confusion. So um, let me give you a little bit of background. So today, as I was reading a book, I read a quotation by, yeah, it's a quotation by Tony Robbins, and he says that it is in your moments of decision that your life is shaped. So I was that your destiny is shaped, right? So I was definitely convinced about the fact that yes, decisions do determine the course of how our destiny, how our life is going to look like later. And then I thought, what does it take us to get to a point where we are going to get the opportunity to make a decision, right? And that is without any doubt a state of confusion, right? You have options and you have a chaos around it, and that is when you are required to take a decision. um, I know that in today's world, probably the state of confusion is often associated uh, with being lost or being stuck, right? And as artists, I'm sure many a times you would have thought a blue or a red, a crimson lake or a rose madder, right? You would have got so many thoughts, a yellow ochre or a Hansa yellow deep. So many options, so many choices. And it's not just about colors. Yeah, that was just an example, right? You get confused about whether to take you know, um, let's say you're drawing a portrait and you are in two minds about whether a front facing portrait or a side profile portrait. Right? So many similar things. At each and every point, you are required to take a decision. And before that, there is a state of chaotic confusion, right? Um, Sometimes in that state, you feel lost or you feel that I'm not going anywhere. I'm not sure what to do. But let me tell you that some of the wisest decisions that we have made in our lives, some of the best actions that we have taken in our lives actually emerge from that very state of confusion. Think about it, right? It is the state of confusion that has given you the opportunity to choose, that has given you the opportunity to choose something that is going to be helping you build build yourself, right? So in many ancient cultures, right, confusion isn't actually just a mere state of indecision, as they say, right? It's basically a crossroad, right? Um, in I think it was in the Roman or in the Greek culture, in the Roman culture, right? We have Janus, right, who has two faces. One face sees the past, and the other is able to see the future. So he stands at life's threshold. It's such a wonderful, you know, picturization of life. Janus stands at the threshold of life at every crossroad, and he kind of urges us to embrace the duality of our choices. Everything will have two sides, right? It'll have a pro and a con. So you cannot make a choice, you cannot make a decision that has only pros. And that's the beauty. That's so assuring, right? That's why the whole confusion. So whatever you choose, you will have a con and a pro. That's absolutely um infallible, right? So given that, it is so much of a relief that you cannot make a choice that is only completely wrong, right? And then that's about the Roman uh, culture. But we also have the folklore from the eastern parts of the world, where we know about the lotus pond, right? In the lotus pond, seekers would actually find themselves, um, you know, kind of looking for a decision, or they find themselves confused and torn between um, a state of chaos or confusion versus being enlightened. So um, in the lotus pond, the reflection that they would see would be so dynamic and ever changing that it would be kind of a reflection of what is going on within. So as a young adult or as children, you would have many a times come across these kind of crossroads. I don't want to refer to things that we come across every day as adults, but let's rewind a little bit and go back to our younger days. All right. Um, you would remember, particularly as children, we would be so confused about this one or that one. We still are. There is no reason to believe that we are more decisive now. But at those moments, um, for instance, you go to um, a store, an art supply store. I remember I used to go to the supply store, and I used to keep wondering whether to buy a box of pastels or whether to buy those watercolor cakes or something else. Everything was so um, tempting. Everything was so um, alluring that many times I would just go for one or two of the smaller sizes than going for um, one larger set. So I could have chosen a 48 shades. I did, but I could have chosen. There were times when I chose to buy a smaller watercolor set and a smaller pastel set um, over buying the larger pastel shade. Sorry, set. Right, that's a tongue twister. Now, and today, if I look back, probably those decisions that I took has shaped me as I am. I feel confident not with just one medium. I of course love watercolors, and that's my um core love. But I also love pastels. I love um, other mediums, and I'm so happy to explore different mediums that way, gouache and things like that. And it's not just about colors, right? We have had we have been at crossroads where we were supposed to be taking decisions, making choices at every point. Do you remember times when you had the drawing book at one corner of your table and probably a maths book, and you were to make a choice, that okay, this is not the right time to sit and draw, and probably you need to focus on the maths. It was so tough a decision to take as a kid. Or sometimes, the decision or the choice to make whether to go out and play versus whether to focus on your drawing book or the maths book. And both the books would sometimes seem as you know um repulsive as anything else as compared to going out and playing. But you did make a choice at that time, and that has so much helped you become who you are today, isn't it? So, you know, we can imagine. So today, when I was thinking in the morning, I was very well imagining, the state of confusion. Of late, I have been a little confused. I have been having toothache and this, and I'm confused whether to I have limited time. I have my office, I have all of this that I do, I have my commission work, so much going on. I was in a state of confusion trying to decide whether to spend the Saturday evening with a dentist or the orthopedic. So you know uh, confusions are so much adorable at times if you think. So when I was looking at the whole phenomenon of confusion, I was thinking that, thinking of it as a cocoon, right? A state where I get the time to think about the pros, the cons, and I can't use my other hand. So the pros and the cons, right? Weigh them and make a choice. And the choice actually leads us uh, to a transformation in whatever, from the current state to the other state, right? New state. Now, from the current state to the, new state, right? Elevated state. Um, so, this transformation or the transition only happens when we dwell very comfortably in our state of confusion. Because if you are uncomfortable being confused, then the decision you take will be more governed by, rushed thoughts. You will not be probably taking up very balanced, you will not be having very balanced thoughts to guide you towards the right decision, right? So it is important that, in that cocoon that a state of confusion gives you, it gives you that opportunity to, pause, to stop, to introspect, to retrospect, to weigh your options, the pros, the cons, and everything, and then take that decision, right? So it's just like, as they say in a cocoon, it's just like that caterpillar that, takes this time to become a butterfly, to transition from its old form to its new form. And unless we are comfortable in that cocoon of confusion, the state of confusion, the journey will not be enjoyable, right? So, um, I feel that, I don't know, I have seen, I mean, this is completely about art, and I have seen a lot of, you know, I should say, artists and art lovers when they are, in at a stage while pursuing their artwork or while trying to create something, I see people getting impatient, right? Particularly when they are required to make a decision, make a choice, right? And they would sometimes rely on ready-made information. Okay, let's look at the color wheel, or let's look at some other painting, and take that decision based on the grammar of art. Okay, grammar is fine. You always have to keep it in mind. But there is so much more to art when you take decisions, when you take that call about what your next step in your artwork will be. It's so important that uh, we step back at such times. Probably that is the name given to creative block. I don't know. It's not really a block, right? It's a moment where you have to step back and look and think, right? Reflect on what you want to express, how you want your artwork to be, how you want your viewers to see your artwork, and so many things. You can really dig deep into the essence of um, what we are doing, what you are painting right now, and what you want to be painting, right? And trust me, it is at that moment when you step back and just pause what you're doing and give the entire focus and divert your entire focus to thinking. It is at that very moment that the real magic happens, right? That is the incubator, if I can say, that some of your most profound insights, and I would dare to say that some of your most outstanding creations will happen. So, confusion actually isn't a stage to rush through, or as I have seen sometimes, confusion is something that people avoid. Don't over plan, right? Planning is good, but only to a certain extent. We should be, as they say, agile, right? Agile with your artwork, right? Let a little bit of confusion be, because that is giving you creative freedom to explore. And I believe that a little bit of confusion till the very end of your artwork, and probably even after your artwork is over, is great. Because do you know why? I feel it is great because that gives your viewers the opportunity to be creative, right? Um so next time, while painting or in your real life, at any point of time, if you feel that you're confused, remember that it's actually just a crossroad that's giving you an opportunity to take a decision, to make a choice. And it's absolutely okay to be confused. We all get, right? It's your safe place. It's your place. It's your place of empowerment. It's your place where you take the decision, where you make the choice, not somebody else. So you are completely in an empowered state, and that is why you are confused. It is a good stage to be, right? So be comfortable, and what comes out will be basically a more evolved, a more refined version of your thoughts and your actions, just like the caterpillar into the butterfly, right? And of course, as an artist, you will evolve more, evolve into a more finer artist um, in the whole process, right? So embrace upon confusions, be comfortable dwelling on it, and explore it as much as you can, because it's only through the the mm, the process of going through confusions that um, that the whole germination of ideas happen, and it evolves into a stage of clarity, greater clarity. So, thanks for tuning in and listening in. Until next time, embrace the chaos and keep creating. I will see you all very soon. Bye bye.